Hello and welcome. In today's episode, I'll share with you 3 powerful steps that, if taken, will allow you to end any toxic relationship with a narcissistic person. These steps are not only applicable to narcissistic relationships but can be effective in dealing with any harmful relationship, whether it's within the family, at work, or elsewhere. By following these 3 steps and incorporating them into your daily life, I promise you won't have to deal with narcissistic individuals, and they will distance themselves from you. Peace be upon you, and may God's mercy and blessings be upon you. Welcome to a new episode and a new video on narcissism. If you're interested in our topics on narcissism, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you'll be notified of our upcoming episodes. Today's topic revolves around 3 very powerful steps. They might seem simple when discussed, but in practical terms, they are not as straightforward as they may appear. You'll find them to be incredibly potent in ending any toxic relationship. Inshallah, God willing, I'll try to simplify them, so by the end of this episode, you'll understand and be able to apply them as we explain. The first step, my friends, is to ensure that ending any toxic relationship must genuinely come from your heart. The decision to end the relationship should be initiated by you, meaning your heart should be the one making the decision. To end a toxic relationship with a narcissistic person, you don't need permission from anyone else. You don't have to investigate the matter thoroughly or send long messages to the narcissist explaining why you're ending the relationship. When you decide to end a relationship like this, you should already be committed to it. You don't wait for discussions or dialogues about what happened and how you arrived at this decision. If you do it this way, focusing on expressing your intention to leave without engaging in debates or discussions, you will genuinely be committed to ending the relationship. When you do this and leave room for discussion, the narcissist knows and is convinced that you're just playing along. Moreover, they might take advantage of your decision and assure you that they will change or that nothing else will happen. However, in reality, they will continue with their life unchanged. Certainly, you've experienced such situations many times before, where they promise to change but never do. Now, your decision must truly come from within your heart, with full conviction based on what you've experienced and seen. Your heart has made a decision, and there's no turning back. You won't tolerate any more lies, deceit, or harm. When the decision genuinely comes from your heart, the narcissist is truly finished in your eyes. Now, don't underestimate this step or consider it easy, because without a heartfelt decision, you won't be able to execute the following steps. If you feel that you're not ready for such a decision, or if it doesn't genuinely come from your heart, it's better not to continue watching the video, because what follows won't benefit you or make sense. Believe me, before we move on to the next steps, this first step is the most crucial. If the decision isn't truly from your heart, there's nothing you can do, and any advice regarding this matter won't be useful to you. The second step on the path to ending any toxic relationship is learning to say no. Say no to anything that doesn't suit you, and you don't need to provide any excuses for rejecting something you don't want. Many people argue that saying no angers the narcissist and turns them into a more malicious and harmful person. Yes, that's true, but in this case, when you say no, regardless of the narcissist's reaction, you can see them as a child throwing a tantrum because they want something, and you refuse to give it to them. The reason is quite simple. Since you've already decided to end the relationship, the outcome of saying no won't bother you. If you're worried about the narcissist's anger and hesitant to say no, it means you haven't made the initial decision to end the relationship. That's why I mentioned that the first step is the most important, because it leads us to the subsequent steps. Without it, any talk about ending the relationship is illogical and meaningless. Always respond with a no, regardless of the narcissist's anger towards you. Let them be angry as they please and let them discover your changes. What you're doing is changing the entire pattern and situation of your life. The word no is something they're not accustomed to, and it never crossed their mind that they would hear it from you due to their continuous habit of receiving affirmative responses from you. Now, what could be the narcissist's reaction if you insist on your position? They might leave you or distance themselves. In this case, it can be a good thing, and you shouldn't worry about the potential cutoff of communication, because that's the most extreme thing they can do when faced with your newfound ability to say no and reject any mistreatment. All you need to do at this stage is to say no to the narcissist. Even if they leave or distance themselves after a fit of anger and shouting, consider it a good thing. They will realize that there's no hope from you when there's no reaction to their anger or attempts to cut off communication. The narcissist will undoubtedly go mad and be engulfed in intense anger towards you due to this step, because you didn't play their favorite game, the one they're accustomed to from you. By taking this step, The narcissist will realize and be certain that you are walking your own path and won't be swayed by any reaction from them. They may attempt to leave you for a while to see if there's another source of supply. They want to determine whether you will remain steadfast in your position or if you'll take any specific action. I want to remind you again that this step is not effective on its own without the crucial first step, where the decision truly comes from your heart. If the decision isn't internal and heartfelt, the second step will be shaky and unstable. The narcissist will perceive you as weak and easily swayed. Now, onto the third step, which is about complaining. Certainly, you've endured a difficult period with the narcissist, constantly subjected to mistreatment without any mercy. Perhaps you've complained to someone about this situation before, but without any results. Another crucial point is that many who have experienced a toxic relationship often express feeling like a different person, no longer the natural self they were before entering the relationship with a narcissist. They notice significant changes in their life system, adapting to the narcissistic patterns, almost like an addiction. Throughout the relationship, it becomes a psychological struggle and unbearable hurt, to the point where you won't find even a brief moment to think about yourself or indulge in activities you enjoy. The ongoing conflict and harm make it nearly impossible to find time for self-reflection or to engage in activities you love. This step, my friends, requires you to completely overhaul your lifestyle, letting go of everything that distracts you from yourself and your normal life. There's no problem if you spend a certain amount of time contemplating how to address this issue, but without much contemplation, you must change your life system and the routine you had with the narcissist. In this step, you start implementing a new system for your life, engaging in activities or hobbies that you didn't do before, and rebuilding relationships that were severed due to your relationship with the narcissist. With loyal friends who genuinely care about you. Try to visit new places, connect with friends, relatives, and family members you were deprived of. Consider traveling, perhaps taking trips to see new things. The key is to completely change the routine you were living with. Direct your energy into something that benefits and uplifts you, maintaining continuous improvement. These actions will help protect you from the danger of relapse or succumbing to attempts to bring you back into the toxic relationship. These 3 steps may seem simple or ordinary, but believe me, if you think about them correctly, you'll find them among the most crucial and dangerous things you can do to save yourself from a toxic relationship or to end your relationship with a toxic narcissist. To summarize the 3 steps we discussed. 1. Ensure that the decision comes from your heart, as nothing else will work. 2. Tell the narcissist no, and over time, they will leave you. 3. Completely change the routine of your life. I hope you found this episode beneficial, and inshallah, God willing, we'll meet in the next episode with a new topic on narcissism. Thank you all, and peace be upon you, God's mercy and His blessings.